Hello there, everybody. I am Ross Pitch Shark Hunter. Here with me today is Wizzy Puff. And this is Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour.
People don't actually know this, but Wizzy Puff is short for Wizzium Puffsalot. My real full name.
It's true. His real full Christian name is Wizzium Puffsalot, or whatever the fuck you said. So, Wizzy.
Yeah?
I know you, and I'm pretty sure that you are a fan of 20th century Italian theater.
I don't think you know me as well as you think you do.
Well, crap.
I'm a fan of Italy.
So anyways, 6 Characters in Search of an Author was a 1920 Italian play by Luigi Pirandello. This is the most amount of research I've had to do for this podcast. And it was hard, man.
Luigi Pirandello.
I had to, look up 6 Characters in Search of an Author. So my friend Caffeinated Pinky, she wrote a sequel to this story that we're about to read.
Does that mean that we might do Caffeinated Pinky's story next? Or at some point?
I'm not sure about next, but yes, at some point. I think next comedy one we might do Princess Celestia Gets Mugged and try and finish that up at some point. But
Yes.
yeah. Anyways, she had made a sequel, and I had noted, because I went to theater class last semester, or I guess not last semester now 2 semesters ago. I went to theater class and learned of this play called 6 Characters in Search of an Author. And I thought that it was an interesting concept that I wanted to, explore. And I never got around to, reading the script or anything. But I wanted to check it out.
That sounds like something from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah. I mean, a bit, maybe. So anyways, she recommended this story and also recommended her own story. Bit of a self-promotion on her part, but yeah, so I was like, all right, yeah, I'll check that out. Hey, that kind of sounds like this one play. And she's like, oh yeah, it's almost definitely inspired by it. So I really wanted to read this, and I believe this is about 5,000 words. Yeah, it's about 5,000 words, so it's going to be a bit longer than our usual stuff. So I'm not sure why I'm dragging this intro out as long as I am, but you got to do what you got to do, man?
Before we start, I'd like to point out an ad that I'm seeing that says, "You will never have to scrub your toilet again with this toilet cleaner." And it has someone pouring Coca-Cola into a toilet.
Wowzers.
I just felt like that was very much worth noting.
Interesting. Well, now I'm just curious.
All right, let's begin with the story.
Yay.
6 Characters in Search of a Point by Signwolf.
Is that Signwolf?
I
always thought it was Cinewolf.
It could be, I don't know.
Cinewolf.
What if we were just nameless things with no memory, no idea of what we were, no idea of what was to come, or what is, or what shall be?
This is the part of the story.
Maud said, as she selected a pastry from one of the many inexplicably laid out on Twilight's table.
Man, that must be a difficult reading voice, man. That must tire you out.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds like you're doing a lot of enunciating.
I like to narrate with enunciation.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a 5,000 word story. You sure you can commit to it?
Well, Ross, if I don't, the gods will smote us.
I suppose.
Smite us? I don't know. I like to say smote.
I mean, we don't know their stance on narration, now do we?
Well, I haven't exactly asked them, seeing as I'm not a friggin' disciple of the voice gods, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, we've never actually, well, more specifically me, I'm in touch with them. I've never actually asked what they are. Anyways, where you are thrust into a situation for which you are not prepared, thus setting a tone for the story and inviting others witnessing it to be invested in your relatability as a character.
What? Twilight asked. The scene before her was this. Her kitchen with its beautiful decor and spotless counters.
Oh wait, maybe I should be Twilight. I think about it, she's probably the main character, isn't she?
Alright. You could be Maud and Twilight.
That's okay, there are 6 characters.
Luna. The scene before her was this. Her kitchen with its beautiful decor and spotless counters played host to a menagerie of ponies who, by all rights, had no business being there. Luna, with bags under her eyes and a coffee mug in hand, leaned in the corner in her chair like some character out of an old western. Maud, straight as a board. Is Maud a character in this, or is this an OC?
Maud is Pinkie Pie's sister. She talks like this.
Huh. I'm just confused because her voice is Maud. I mean, her name is Maud. That doesn't sound like a pony name.
Yeah, it does. It's Maud Pie.
Oh, that's so wonderful. All right. Maud, straight as a board, looking intently at the comically large tray of pastries, the names of which escaped Twilight and also the nebulous forces which dictated her actions. Trixie, huddled over a scroll. Cadence, who stared with Maud's intensity at all the others. Oh, Trixie. I think Trixie is the one that I got confused with Starlight Glimmer at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Heh, nerd.
Shut up, Ross.
No.
And lastly, but certainly not least, but certainly not the least confusing, Chrysalis. Was she still a queen? How did that work? Twilight guessed technically Thorax had performed a coup? Were spontaneous revolts by the oppressed changeling proletariat a coup? What constituted a coup?
I still read that as coop. Even though I know it's pronounced coup. I still say coop. What?
All right, now C-O-O-P. Is that coop or co-op?
It depends on if there's a hyphen. Or is hyphen the right
Fair
one?
enough.
I think it's hyphen.
I was mainly just asking what you'd read it as, but... Anyway...
I'll read it as co-op.
She asked again.
This is the explanation.
Exposition.
Thank you.
Maud said. She selected a Danish, which was good because Twilight remembered what those were called. It was cream cheese, which is the best kind of Danish.
Stupid Danish. Essentially, this part of the tale that you are in at present, Your Highness, is the least interesting part. Not to say that it isn't interesting, per se, but that it's just the lead-in. It sets the tone, invites... I got that part.
Twilight said woodenly, which is actually kind of a ridiculous way to express a flat, expressionless sort of sounding voice.
That doesn't explain why you're in my kitchen.
Well, why are you in your kitchen? Luna groused. Luna groused. She sipped her coffee, which was black as midnight, which is a ham-fisted attempt to play on her nature as being connected somehow nebulously to the moon and its courses. Second time you used the word nebulously, okay? Which is a fancy way of saying she makes it do stuff. Maybe?
I couldn't sleep.
No wonder you're yawning. Twilight blinked. She had been doing a lot of blinking in the last 74 seconds. And
then I came down for a snack. Is that a crime? Wait, hold on. That's weird. Is this like one of those types of stories that tries to fuck with my mind here?
Wait, I'm confused.
Alright, there's a question mark after, and then I came down for a snack. But then, is it a crime ends with a period. A full stop for you Brits.
Oh.
That's weird.
Wait, do British people say full stop instead of period?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm learning so much about the second English language.
Yes.
Maud said.
In what?
Twilight took a step back.
It was a joke. The humor is based on an unexpected answer to a rhetorical question.
Oh, I just love that type of character. Maud continued on.
This, what we are doing, is what is called establishing a chronological sequence of events. We began in media res, which is a fancy way of saying in the middle of things. You have no idea why we are here, nor what will happen, and any observer would be thrust into this situation as it is already beginning, so as to heighten their interest. Maybe you should have been Twilight. Their interest. Ponies like to know the full story. Please,
Twilight said.
please, for the love of the stars and Celestia, please tell me why you are all having some sort of weird tea party in my kitchen at... What time is it?
Cadence, not looking away from Chrysalis, answered her. It's about 2 in the morning.
That's a lovely Cadence voice. I actually love it. At 2 in the morning.
Twilight finished, using the proper way of inserting numbers into fictional text, as she was always very precise, and as such would never dare be anything other than right about a thing ever. What the? Hold on, let me reread that. And as such would never dare be anything other than right about a thing ever. Okay.
You got it?
There was literally in this world nothing worse than being mildly incorrect about a completely meaningless and irrelevant point.
So you got 2, and I got 2. Who should be Chrysalis?
Well, I'm also the narrator, so you should be Chrysalis.
I guess I'll be Chrysalis. Obviously, this isn't a tea party.
Chrysalis hissed.
You idiot. Do you see any tea?
She's got a point. Cadence agreed. No tea, Auntie Luna has coffee. I ain't your aunt, kid. Aw, play along. I think it's cute. Cadence said.
I guess I'll be Trixie as well.
All right.
If you're not gonna be her, I guess.
You love Trixie. You be Trixie.
I don't love Trixie, actually.
I thought you loved Trixie.
Nope. Think she's alright,
Okay.
but don't love her. Trixie, the decent and pretty okay, agrees.
Agreed, Trixie, who was decent and pretty okay. Oh, I love jokes like that. Trixie also did not look up from what she was doing. It was very mysterious, and there was actually no reason for her to even be doing that. Or perhaps there was, and not every detail needed to be fully explained. But it didn't matter because Twilight decided to ignore her and her very mysterious scroll.
Mysterious indeed.
My sister is a perpetual virgin on account of being so tall that nothing can get it on with her. What is going on?
Yeah. One of the tags is random. And also sex. I should have mentioned that.
Oh my god, what?
Don't
Is there gonna
worry,
be
it's
sex
rated
in this,
T.
or is that... Okay.
I think it'll just be sex references.
Does that just mean teens having sex? Because I don't know if we're allowed to put that on the internet.
Well, actually, you're
Never
not
mind.
allowed to put actual teens having sex on the internet. I mean, I don't think you should
never
do it.
mind, I don't want to hear this.
I don't think you should do it anyways, but hypothetically.
Luna said gruffly, between sips of coffee. She was really going through that stuff. How could you be related to me? It's dumb. Twilight's right eye twitched.
This is where things threaten to devolve into meaningless absurdity before being brought back into focus by a well-timed interaction which suggests where the plot of the story might be going.
Maud intoned solemnly as she ate her Danish. She was very neat about it, which in a distant sort of way Twilight appreciated.
Okay, so you're not having a tea party. We've established that Princess Luna is grumpy, and that Maud is.
Twilight shrugged.
Trixie, were you here for Starlight? Are you, like, having a sleepover?
Okay, so Trixie does know Starlight. That's a thing.
Yeah. They're like besties. Some might say
Okay.
lovers.
Ooh, I ship it.
So does
We are
everybody.
secret lovers. Aw, then I don't ship it. I can't ship mainstream stuff.
You're just
rarely.
the worst person. You ship Bert and Ernie.
Hey,
And then complain at me when
I-
I don't ship Bert and Ernie, even though I secretly do.
no. I shipped SpongeBob and Squidward, and you said you shipped Bert and Ernie, and I was like, how is that any different?
Oh, right, the other way
Because
around.
you
then.
were complaining about me shipping Squidward and SpongeBob.
No, yeah, then it was the other way around. I remember that you complained at me for not shipping something.
I would probably complain to a lot of people about not shipping a lot of stuff.
You're just the worst kind of person.
Well, I just know romance.
You're horrible.
Is that what you call a conjugal visit? Oh my god, I don't like reading this stuff. Luna asked and drank more coffee and generally looked deprived and possibly hung over.
Maybe you would like reading this stuff a bit more if you had a bit more of a less horrible voice all the time. Anyways.
My voice is a beacon of hope.
No, what's wrong with you? What is with all of you? Why are you just sitting there when Chrysalis is right next to you in my kitchen? Where did these pastries come from? Why are you here? Can I have one? What?
They all said in unison.
A pastry.
Twilight said.
I'm still hungry. Oh, of course.
Chrysalis said, and magicked one over.
We're not savages. Barely even human.
Twilight flinched.
Should I be trusting an offer from you? You're probably all changelings. Possible.
Chrysalis said, dangling another Danish in front of Twilight's face. It was cream cheese, because changelings like cheese, and that's scientific, and Twilight could prove it. But wouldn't, because it would take too long and because her Wi-Fi was on the fritz. Again.
Thought you guys were vegan.
Are they? Is that a
No,
thing?
they eat cake.
Well, cake can be vegan.
Yeah, but they probably put eggs in cake. I'm just saying, there's been quite a few stuff in My Little Pony that has certain things in it that would not be vegan.
Like the apples.
No, you wouldn't believe it, but apples are actually vegan.
What?
Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah.
But they scream when you bite into them.
Yeah, I know, it's really weird. But they're vegan. It's like Oreos. Weird. But honestly, do you really think that? Would that really be the best answer to this? Maybe a Danish is just a Danish.
Danishes. Cadence groaned.
Cadence like that,
Twilight.
Dave?
What?
I was about to make a very naughty joke.
I guess it would fit this fic. Take that, this fic.
Wow, maybe you're just mean.
Twilight, trying not to think too much, and in fact failing at doing just that, accepted the Danish. It was good. It was almost good enough to atone for the utter lack of meaning in this exchange she was having. But no Danish is that good. Also, why is it called a Danish?
Yeah, that's a good point. Why is it called a Danish?
Probably a good reason.
Have a seat, Sparkle.
Chrysalis said.
Unless you're back to bed.
Twilight had a seat. There happened to be one open.
This is a dream.
Luna eyed her balefully. Twilight expected some sort of poetic, cryptic answer from her. She was ready for it, ready to dissect its twisting and slightly archaic structure and prod it for truer and deeper meanings. If she were honest... What?
Truer. Sorry.
Truer. Yeah, that gets back to you hating words that have R's too close.
Yeah, it does. You know, this whole podcast just comes together.
And soon it will come to an end. Anyway, if she were honest, and Twilight did try to be honest, she always looked forward to when Luna did that sort of thing. It was just so exciting and romantic and... No, Luna said. It isn't a dream,
Oh, we five are here
Maud said.
as a kind of literary psychotic break. This is what is called a farce, wherein the actions, both external and internal, that drive the narrative are absurd in the extreme. The farce can be used to great effect in satire. It's true. What she's trying to say
Chrysalis said.
is that you really shouldn't think too much about it. About it too much. Whatever. Got the same point across.
See, when you say stuff like that, it kind of looks like it could have been the actual dialogue with this story.
Yeah.
Think of it as a slumber party, Cadence said. Remember those? Twilight pursed her lips and looked down at her half-eaten Danish.
I didn't exactly have a lot of those.
You had some with me, Cadence sing-songed.
Does that count? Does it?
Oh, shoot. Twilight asked.
I would think it counts.
Chrysalis said, and then chittered.
I mean, if you want it to.
Twilight glanced over at her, and then back to the others.
Well, I guess does anyone else want coffee? The slightly cold and supernally disinterested Trixie would, in fact, like coffee.
Trixie, who was actually very cold and only slightly disinterested, said. She sniffed. I love that. I love that. What's it called? Running joke.
Do you have cream and sugar? Of course.
Twilight smiled and got up. She paused halfway to her coffee maker, as if wrestling with why she was making coffee for 5 uninvited guests with no set agenda at 2 in the morning.
Oh, Bilbo Baggins. Greatest character of all time. Anyways, let's continue.
I technically watched The Hobbit, and do not remember it.
It's good.
I remember it being good. All right.
Well, that's good. Not a lot of people do.
But with a flash she recalled Pinkie Pie's haunting, eldritch gaze, and a rather murky and unsettling conversation which she only half remembered. What she did remember boiled down to,
Try not to overthink stuff, okay?
so she made coffee. Maud spoke behind her.
This is the part where you think deeply about something which isn't necessarily important in the grand scheme of things, but is actually subtly about something deeper. It's a classic way of avoiding awkward exposition while also revealing something about a character and occasionally allowing one to be poetic in an otherwise dry narrative.
I know you're not going to get this, but just for the audience, this character reminds me of friggin' Abed from Community.
I don't understand this.
Anyway, it's just a way of pointing stuff out, breaking the fourth wall like that,
I see.
in a very dry tone.
I see.
Coffee was important. It was one of those important things. Twilight thought so. At any rate, yeah, it was super important. Okay, that was awful. She had to start again. Coffee was... Okay, so coffee was just coffee. Really. She liked it a lot. She'd kinda sorta lived on it in school, and the smell held a lot of nice memories for her.
Did you know that coffee isn't vegan?
You mean like because, friggin' kill... Is it because of like slavery or like killing animals or something to get it?
I don't know. I was lying. That was a farce, you see.
I think some people don't consider it vegan because of like, people are enslaved to get coffee beans and stuff.
Really?
Anyway, let's get off of that sad note.
Huh. Well, I was just trying to make a joke. Shit, dude.
I know that's the case with most chocolate.
Yeah, well.
Coffee reminded her of a dozen long and ultimately happy nights spent reading by candlelight in her private study room in the library. It reminded her of Spike, who had been so happy...
Continue.
who had been so happy to learn how to brew it so he could feel helpful to her. That was the start of the whole number one assistant business. In fact, coffee had always been a kind of salesman for her. Talisman.
Talesman.
Same with donuts at Joe's and her doll Smarty Pants. It had been a consistent thing to return to remind
Constant,
her
but I
who
guess
she
that's
was.
the same thing.
Oh. Do you want me to restart it? Because I will restart it.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Nah. I'm being a jerk.
Yes, you are.
To remind her who she was and what she was doing.
Like you are
There.
every day.
Much better. Anyway, coffee is a great thing. Everyone should be drinking coffee.
Except for you Mormons out there. If it's against your religion, it's against your religion. Like, what you gonna do about it?
Drink decaf? I don't know how you can make coffee Mormon good. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That's the thing, you can't. I guess it would just be hot chocolate, eh?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm Mormon. Let's continue.
Maud spoke behind her.
Oh, wait.
Wait, did I? Oh, no, I
think
actually went way up. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Well, crap.
Okay, I'm back down.
Just read there much better, I believe, so.
She returned. Everyone but Luna had some. Luna's mug seemed larger. Twilight tried very, very hard not to ask about it. Luna seemed to never run out. Her cup ranneth over. Why did it just say ranneth? Not literally, because that would have been awfully inconvenient, but in a sort of
Masturbatorily.
masturbatorily referential way. Why?
It's a word.
Doesn't matter if it's a word. Why do you gotta put it in?
How have you been?
Chrysalis asked as soon as she was comfortable.
You know, I think it's just a way for the author to get some stuff off their chest. And that's okay.
I guess, but like...
So fuck off, Wizzy.
They knew I'd be reading it, so like, what the heck?
You know what, Wizzy? If I knew you were reading it, I would put in so much worse crap. So much worse.
And my pay would double. This, of course, made her immediately no longer comfortable. Was that the point? Was this all an elaborate trap?
No.
Said Maud, answering the air. Twilight looked at her coffee.
It's been okay.
I've been okay, she said.
I've been okay. Yep, sorry. Yeah.
She said.
Only okay.
Chrysalis prompted. Twilight blinked at her owlishly. Hey, Ross, I know you like owls.
I do like owls.
A point of order. This was actually inaccurate, as Twilight actually, in fact, had an owl companion who did, in fact, blink. What the heck? But his blinking was... I remember the owl from your video.
Yay.
But his blinking was rather different from the blinking which she now performed in the presence of the rogue queen of the changelings' greatest empire since Morrigan III's deceptive sovereignty over the First Republic of the Earth Ponies and the Pegasi hierarchy at the same time via an incredibly complicated and frankly kind of kinky amalgamation of disguises, enthralled lovers, less than enthralled lovers, weak-willed sycophants, and ponies that just did not give a bleep so long as the paperwork was done properly and their check was in their box on Friday. That was so much.
Yeah, only okay.
The junior princess shrugged.
I just haven't been up lately. Or if I have, it's only for a day at most. Work stress,
Chrysalis said, cocking her head to the side with a little frown.
I mean...
Twilight's last resistance began to crumble.
Not entirely. It's just, life. Like, being alive, having internal experiences. It's rough sometimes.
Boo-hoo, Luna said gruffly. Cadence, who had been eyeing them all with frankly uncomfortable intensity, snapped her head towards Twilight. Have you considered getting laid?
What?
Twilight blinked. It really helps with stress, Cadence said, breathing heavily.
Are you alright?
Twilight asked.
I ask because you're creeping me out. I mean, usually I wouldn't just come out and say it, but you're breathing kind of heavily, and my ability to maintain my normal demeanor is basically at 0 right now. Also, you're married to my brother, and for some reason you're telling me to get laid. You telling me to get laid weirds me out.
I've been having a bad week, Cadence said. She licked her lips. Okay, not bad. Weird? I think weird is a good word. Maybe...
Okay, then. This will not be explained.
Maud intoned, thank God. Look, I'm the demigoddess empress of love and chrysalis and bleep.
And crystals.
Cadence said... Oh, crystals. I thought that sounded weird.
Yeah, it did
Cadence
sound
said,
weird.
and produced a flask from Hammerspace before pouring something in her coffee. It smelled strongly of paint thinner. And yeah, it's cool, but sometimes I get antsy, you know? Sometimes a mare just wants to find a secretive kink club buried deep beneath the earth where she can justify her perfectly healthy desires to beat the snot out of a consenting and adorable young mare with a variety of adult toys by saying she's keeping the Wendigo menace at bay via outpouring of sacramental devotion or something convoluted like that. Yeah, I'm not reading that in the Cadence voice.
Getting the gods a bit angry.
I don't care what the gods think.
Jesus, man,
The
you want to get our
gods-
show blown to hell?
The gods would not appreciate that sentence.
That was oddly specific.
Twilight said.
And a bit referential.
Trixie, the correct and perfect, agreed.
Also off script.
Maud said. Her voice was beginning to change.
Also not very funny.
Chrysalis said.
I mean, I sympathize. I really do, Pink, but...
But you could be anything you want. Busy later? Cadence said.
Is that a paint thinner in there?
Twilight asked.
Yes.
The rest of the table replied. Twilight went back to her own coffee.
I am occupied, yes.
Chrysalis said, her eyes shifting from pony to pony.
Doing important things. Decidedly important things that are decidedly real.
Well, I also happen to be real, Cadence said, sliding a hoof along the table. This hoof attempted to touch Chrysalis's but missed. Then the changeling dodged. A third try. A fourth. They played at this for a while until Cadence finally cornered her hoof and touched it.
Chrysalis looked at Twilight. Unfortunately, Twilight was looking at her coffee.
Maud chanted.
The song wove them together, and yet they refused to yield to the world love. Verily they.
Twilight coughed. She found another Danish. Danishes are important.
Have you got, I don't know, talked to Shining about this?
Who?
Who?
Chrysalis and Cadence asked as one.
My brother?
You have a brother? Cadence asked, startled. Twilight blinked. She went back to her coffee. Trixie, the blogalicious and just slightly not all wise, coughed into her hoof.
So, Sparkle, you mentioned you were having trouble with, things?
Twilight kept looking at her coffee.
I don't know, I haven't been really...
Cadence had lost the attentions of Chrysalis and moved on to Trixie, who flushed and tried to insist that she was quite fine as she was. Thanks. Twilight sighed. Oh, now I see what it's saying. She was quite as fine as she was, thanks. Twilight sighed. Luna stared holes into her. Not literally, because that would be 1, frightening, and 2, unfortunate. No,
And
she
3, you
metaphorically.
already have Chrysalis over here. Don't want to be insensitive.
I don't understand that reference.
Chrysalis has holes in her.
Oh, she's a big old Swiss cheese.
Yeah, that's the one.
No, she metaphorically, or figuratively. Which is it? Maud, whose mid-apotheosis at that very table, unnoticed by the mortals who shared a space truly hers, did not know. This last bit of knowledge was the final piece of a puzzle stretching back millennia. Ponies had toiled for so long and so hard to find the answer to the ultimate question. Questions. There were honestly a lot. One of them was whether it was better to say metaphorical or figurative. There were others, but like Trixie nor anyone else really gave a bleep about those.
It's saying shit, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say it. But Luna continued to stare. Obnoxious authorial tangents, amorous alicorns, and apotheosis could not deter her gaze. Cadence tried to seduce her, and yet she did not move. She was constant as a thing that is constant. The northern star, as a point of order, is not only 2 stars at present, but was not actually one constant point, and the northern line drawn to declare it such actually has been closer to other stars in the past. This is so confusing.
Oh, no. It's not confusing at all. I think it's pretty straightforward, actually.
No, you don't. Luna continued on, raged like Achilles upon the Trojan plain. See
Don't
her
assume
eyes.
what I think.
I'm allowed to assume, because without assumptions, we would have questions left unanswered. See her eyes like monsters that lurk in the cosmos, the black
But
holes
I have answered, though.
See her eyes like monsters that lurk in the cosmos, the black holes that feast upon the troubled stars. See them not glow but absorb. See them as they suck the light and the life out of all things. See her sneer firm with the assembled and martial hatred of all things bright. See her coffee cup, comically large, with the words, "I effing woke up for this," emblazoned upon them in outrageous display. Just so you guys know, it censored the word effing, so I just get to say effing.
Actually, it censored the word FN.
Fine, effing.
No G.
It's true. He's right. Well, she said, are you gonna say anything? No one answered her question. She looked to Maud. Maud was busy becoming God the Lord of Hosts and the Paraclete beneath all battles, and did not notice her. What the heck?
What?
Cadence was busy explaining to a bewildered but mildly interested Trixie Lula what?
Huh, that's weird. Lula Maloon.
Lula
That's not how it's
Maloon.
usually spelled.
And that has always been her name.
Oh, I see. That's part of the joke. Well, thanks. I've just ruined it.
The finer points of shibari knot tying and its long and actually kind of interesting history. Chrysalis was trying to sneak her chair around to Twilight's part of the table, and Twilight was looking at her coffee. Well, Luna said again. Twilight looked up slightly. I'm waiting.
For what? Sorry, I guess I just kind of went spacey there. Sorry, it happens.
Luna paused. She drank some of her coffee. It was not dignified, but rather sort of indolent and lazy in the manner of old cowboys who know their time and the age of the gun is short. I know a lot about space, Luna began. At first, I was baffled by this new expression, but as time went on, and it does go on, I found it more and more fitting. Space is vast, infinite, perhaps infinite. Surely as long as the mind flies, and as far as it can reach. By that poor definition, it is infinite. And even now, some idiot somewhere who doesn't understand that the universe is a joke is writing some essay to disprove this, that no one but other idiots will read, smugly grinning on into their watered-down ale and neon-lit hayburger joints that serves their kind in the smaller hours of the holy night, where only the desperate and the lonely end up. But in that infinity there is no focus, there is no up, nor is there a down, not as we understand those things when walking on 4 legs on the good earth. This is what you feel, Twilight Sparkle, who says she is of Ponyville, drifting, directionless, lost without cause or meaning in a malevolent and unkind existence, distant from love and warmth, cut off from the main of pony kind, and the benevolence of presence, a runner from hope, alienated from the labor of your horn and hooves, exploited by the machinations of unseen and unknowable fortune. Okay. That was the sentence. And I'm guessing they put that in because Luna barely got to talk before that.
I don't know. Maybe.
Twilight said, summing up the entirety of her vast education. Wait.
It's preluding what Twilight says.
Okay. I just thought it. Yeah, because there's friggin' double space there. I just thought when it said summing up the entirety of her vast education, it meant that she was talking about that, so I was confused for a second. Anyway. You wanted my tongue to be sweet, groused Luna.
Groused. We had this conversation earlier.
I know. That is the joke.
Well, you failed at the joke. I didn't get it.
It's because earlier I purposefully mispronounced it, so I did it again. It is called a callback.
Well, it's a pretty shitty callback, if you ask me. So let's continue.
But you did not account for its sharpness. Well, what say you? What brings you here? What cause pulls at the youngest princess in the principality that she cannot sleep, that drifts from place to place, that she imagines the company of strange and twisted shadows of her friends and foes, and even ponies she barely knows? What agonies clawed your spirit that you would leave the comfort of bed for such as this?
I think I liked you better before.
Twilight said softly. Well, also you're a beep and dumb.
A bitch and dumb. That's what Luna said.
I wanted to say it, but I can't say it. I'm cursed.
Yeah, sure. I just want to make sure that our audience knows.
Luna said. Her coffee mug had grown until it was the size of a foal. Better?
Yes, actually.
Degradation play, sing-songed Cadence as she laid flat on the table to push her muzzle into Twilight's cheek. Chrysalis, who had snuck to the little alicorn's side, squeaked and fell back. She planted a kiss on Twilight's cheek. You know, I'm totally into that.
Are you?
Twilight said, hollowly, horrified. Oh, for you I am, my little Sparkle's heart, Cadence said, somehow actually pronouncing the heart emoticon. So would she pronounce it as like
genius?
As like heart, or would she say like lesser than 3?
Well, I guess the joke is that we don't actually know.
Yeah.
And that she somehow pronounced it. Because it's really only a joke that could be told in a story format, isn't it? In a written story format.
True. If you're curious, it sounds kind of like an aged Rikki Tikki Tavi having one last go at the mother of all snakes, but set to insert link to Yes Roundabout here. This song and like super trippy, but also deeply moving if you're on a lot of drugs, but also it was less guttural than Twilight expected. Oh my god. This whole thing.
What?
Twilight orated grandly. The orbs that were her eyes, because that is the best and only literary description for eyes, as all literary sorts know, and also, honestly, who would think to call them that? And it's kind of striking, yet also paradoxically played out. Looked out upon this fresh hell of multicolored but admittedly nice-smelling mane.
So, sorry to elongate this even longer, but I just realized that I can't look at my eyeballs.
Yeah.
This is gonna kill me for the rest of my life.
I mean, just look in a mirror. You can't, look at your frickin',
No, but physically, I cannot
forehead.
look at my eyeballs.
Or your forehead.
It's like how a vampire can't look at himself in the mirror, but I can't actually look at my eyeballs.
Oh, that must be so bad for vampires. I never actually thought about that.
Yeah. This is a sad life we lead. I wish I was a mantis shrimp.
And I can make you one. Anyway, is this Cadence?
Yes, I think so.
I could have us in a bit more private place as soon as you like, you little slew.
Is that paint thinner?
Twilight asked quickly. What? Cadence asked, her amorous stride broken.
Paint thinner, like in your coffee.
Twilight pointed.
The flask. Is the paint thinner even alcoholic? You can use a lot of things as paint thinner, and I don't think any of them are alcoholic. I mean, yes, in some places the substance can be known as mineral spirits, but that's not actually implying it is alcoholic.
Hey, actually, that's what my bottle of paint thinner says. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I've never seen a bottle of paint thinner. That is not a joke. I don't even know that paint thinner is a thing. No, that's not true. My favorite game is Epic Mickey. Of course I know that paint thinner is a thing. It just smells vaguely like vodka. It's actually a product derived from petroleum and is called mineral turpentine in some areas. Yes, it is an irritant, and ingestion in extreme amounts can result in a depression of cognitive functions, which in a roundabout sort of way is kind of like being really, really drunk. But it's a very different experience.
There was a long pause.
Also, it can kill you. Aspiration and then asphyxiation. Also, if long-term exposures result in chronic toxic encephalopathy, which is rather nasty.
Oh, Cadence said.
Yeah.
It's vodka, actually, Cadence said, fishing in her mane, which was also hammer space and producing a bottle of paint thinner. Shoot, she said again, in the same paragraph.
Now that's better. I like that you use shoot instead of shit. I like that. It at least gives our audience an inkling of what she actually said.
Yeah, from now on, just assume that whenever I say something like shoot, it's the actual swear word. All right.
Great.
Cadence rolled off the table. Twilight sighed.
I'm a dame anyhow. Dom?
I think it says Dom.
Well, I'm a dom anyhow. What were you saying, Luna?
Luna sighed. I was monologuing, and then you felt sort of bummed, so I went back to being a jerk.
That one was bitch. But again, I like it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were complaining.
Nope. At least it's something interesting rather than bleep.
I said beep. I didn't say bleep, though I may have said bleep.
Whatever. Right.
But I was asking you what brought you down here. Twilight sighed.
I was hungry. I couldn't sleep.
Just a bit of insomnia and late-night hunger? Luna asked.
Yeah, that's it.
Luna looked at her. Chrysalis laid a hoof on her shoulder.
Is that it? I assume that's Chrysalis.
Me too. She asked.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all there is.
A pause. Cadence groaned.
Is she all right?
Did you change Trixie's voice?
I don't know. I can't remember what I had. Is she all right? I think that might have been it.
Trixie asked no one in particular. Maud groaned with glorious purpose. Burdened by
Ugh.
the impossible magnitude of her ascension, she began slowly to rise from her chair as she sang in 1,000 voices of disordinate harmony.
Discordant, actually, but whatever.
Isn't that what I said?
Nope, you said disordinate.
Did I?
Disordinate, I think.
Oh, oops.
She will be fine, all things will be fine, and the light of eternity speak of me to Maledill. Speak of me often to Maledill. Sing to me the songs of Venus and the chants of Osiris.
She'll be fine, Luna said.
I hope so.
Twilight said softly. Fine, grumbled Cadence. Can't see.
That's usually a sign that one is, in fact, not fine.
Trixie the benevolent and concerned pointed out. Immortal, hissed Cadence and flailed her legs at her in the air bonelessly. Again, not actually bonelessly.
Oh, yeah.
Trixie said. She shrugged.
The slightly less concerned and still benevolent Trixie accepts this.
As Cadence began to gurgle and Luna poked her with a hoof and chuckled darkly, Chrysalis spoke again from Twilight's side.
Are you sure there's nothing at all?
Twilight found that her coffee was infinitely important and worth staring down.
Twilight?
Twilight? Wait, is that all just you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Twilight.
Roared the god Maud, who had become an amorphous blinding light. Cadence groaned, something kind of like Twilight. But it came out kind of bubbly.
What?
Twilight yelled and threw her mug down. It shattered. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
3 voices. One supernal choir of ascended voices, and a drunken and poisoned Cadence warblingly asked.
Nothing.
She screamed.
Nothing is wrong. I'm either hallucinating or stuck in a dream, or this is real and Chrysalis is nice now and Princess Luna is mean and Cadence is a sex fiend and Trixie is there and Maud is...
She gestured with a hoof, but no one looked.
She's doing something and I don't know. And this is stupid, and I just wanted a sandwich or something. And why is life so hard? I can't sleep properly. I can't do work properly. And now I can't even have a midnight snack and brooding session without the accepted realties of my world imploding in my kitchen. And I don't know that they are actually imploding. This is more of like a temporary cessation. Cessation?
I think so.
Cessation, but words are dumb and I'm actually not as good as them as I would like to be or pretend to be. And Maud, will you stop being so bright? Thank you.
Maud became roughly 8% less bright. It actually did make a difference, for which Twilight was suitably and proportionally grateful.
I can't even control my own delusions. What is this motherfucking nonsense? Muffin fucking nonsense.
Is that supposed to be like a My Little Pony version?
I don't know.
I love it.
Hope so.
Twilight
That's fucking
shouted.
nice.
Chrysalis offered her another Danish. Danishes are good. Twilight stared at it.
Why are these Danishes here?
She asked tonelessly. Danishes are good, Luna said flatly. Danishes are so good. Cadenced?
They are pretty great.
Chrysalis agreed sheepishly.
On the 19th day, God sent down Jebekthorxazar, the day in that he might bake the first pastry.
What the heck? God Maud explained out of the storm, which was thankfully small and very localized.
Trixie, the mostly correct and much loved, thinks that they are only okay herself.
Trixie, the average but very hard-working, mumbled.
She is willing to concede they are better than other things as far as taste and consistency are concerned.
Twilight took a deep breath, but found she couldn't. It was like something was lodged in her throat. Oh.
I think I'm crying.
she said.
I think you are.
Chrysalis agreed.
That was a very reasonable opinion, Trixie.
Twilight choked out.
Trixie thanks you. I can't sleep.
Twilight continued.
Okay, I can't. I just wanted to work off some of my angst with some coffee and a damn sandwich or something. I'm sad sometimes, okay? Nothing makes sense and no one cares and the world sucks a lot and Applejack said something that made me feel ugly the other day. And nobody with
No.
half a brain would ever have sex with me for like 24 reasons exactly. And I know that because I made a list and I can't find my checklist for normal business things. So I had to redo it, and it was very long, and also my first edition daring too, and the tricky case of the mysterious yet familiar plot hole. The unofficial, totally not porn parody that went missing for like weeks, and then I found it again, but it's spelled weird, and Spike is going to have to move out in a year or so, because he's going to start his growth spurt soon, and I'm not ready for it, and...
Twilight took a deep breath. This was actually pretty difficult. Crying makes lots of things difficult. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I hate my life. Get ready for this one, because if I mess up, I'm going back.
Oh, no.
And the text code is really complicated. Her Raymond Ash asked me to help her with her taxes, but she keeps really shitty records, and I'm afraid she's gonna be audited and go to pony jail. And I'm still having that dream where Celestia asked me why we have doorknobs when we have hooves again, and I don't know why. And I think Granny and Fluttershy are secretly dating, and I can't prove that. And I'm hurt that they kept it a secret. Mr. Cake and Mrs. Cake left Pinky in charge of everything. Well, they went to somewhere with hookers and booze for their anniversary, and I had to help babysit. And it was really stressful and reminded me that if I had foals of my own, that I would probably love them, but nobody is ever going to want to make babies with me. So it's not going to ever happen. And Starlight didn't know I have a weird and inexplicable feel of quesadillas, and made some the other night, and it was really awkward. And also her budding romance with that stallion who suspiciously looks like Sunset Shimmer is so cringy and painful, because like I'm mostly sure he's gay and my Wi-Fi won't work for more than an hour at a time. And the repair pony just kind of shrugged at me about it, and my student debt bill came in, and I don't even know. I didn't even know I had a student debt, but apparently I do. And I keep seeing Pinky's eldritch face in my dreams as she goes and as she pets my mane and tells me it's gonna be okay, and it tells me it's okay to be alone sometimes, and I forgot how to do something in calculus and wasted 3 hours relearning it the other day and missed an important meeting, and Celestia hasn't written me in weeks except for business, and I miss her, and I wonder if we can be actual friends now, or if we ever were, or I have just imagined it, and now I'm scared all my friendships are actually illusions foisted upon me by circumstance and chance, and that with time they'll erode. And also I have really, really, really bad indigestion right now. Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
That was the worst sentence I've ever heard or read.
That had to be written in just like one take of spewing everything they could think of to put on Twilight at that moment to inconvenience her.
Oh man, I think I need a puff of my inhaler.
Oh no. Oh my god.
So, yeah. Be glad you're you. Woo, I'm dizzy.
I think I'd need a puff of your inhaler after that.
Alright, let's go.
Twilight, heaving, panting, stood now atop the table. Same. groaned Cadence, partway through death. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I hate you, Cadence.
Well, apparently so does Twilight.
How is any of that the same? What the hell, Cadence? I know you love quesadillas, and also you don't have indigestion. Your body is full of petroleum products and coffee. How much do you even drink anyways?
Lots. Cadence sighed. So many.
Also, for the love of Celestia.
Luna coughed.
For the love of Celestia and her sister Luna, who's right here in front of me and who I am pointing at in an unsuitably aggressive manner, which I will panic about later when I can pencil it in. For the love of that, why did you ever think I was going to bang my babysitter as a grown bear, kinky or not? Not that you aren't beautiful, and not that I definitely haven't thought about sharing you with Luna at least once, like a metric fuck ton of predicament bondage, like at least a dozen times.
Oh god. Glad to hear it. Whispered the mostly immortal Cadence, and expired, and then revived. Feeling better?
No!
Luna said.
Oh, sorry.
Luna said.
No!
Twilight screamed. Mostly, yes. Cadence said brightly.
Why is life hard? Twilight!
Chrysalis said calmly.
What? Could you get off the table? It's rude. Even I know that. Oh, sorry. I mean, like, legitimately sorry. Not like I'm sarcastically sorry. Just hold on. Give me a moment, okay? On the floor again. Thank you. You're welcome. Can I keep screaming? Does it help? A little. I'm sorry for what it's worth, which is, unfortunately, probably nothing. But someone should say it.
Twilight sniffled.
Can I please go to bed now? Of course. We go back to being a jerk? Probably.
See, that time it actually said jerk.
Is this a dream? Am I hallucinating?
Chrysalis shrugged. Twilight stared at her, and then Twilight hugged her fiercely, and then she stumbled back to bed, and Cadence had another Danish. It still tasted like paint thinner, though. Oh my god, what the heck? I thought that it was like gonna end up being her dream or something, but apparently this is just all reality and canon now.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, also, this actually does have a canon sequel by the author. I forgot to mention that earlier. We might take a look at that at some point.
We need to do both that and Caffeinated Pinkies.
Yeah. But anyways, aside from that, what'd you think of the story?
Hilarious. Absolute. Probably the funniest one we've read so far.
Yeah, it's that one and the last comedy one we read. Both pretty funny. I think I might have liked the last one's more conversational humor. Both were fairly random, though. And also conversation heavy, but I think the last one I might have preferred comedy-wise.
Yeah. I think they're both their own types of comedy, doing their own creative way. This one definitely had the least plot out of any story we've read so far.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes sense, considering the name of the stupid thing.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it's 6 characters in search of a point.
Yeah. So is that what the original play or whatever it was like?
No idea. Again, have not read it. I know it's absurdist, so possibly?
I don't know if this really means that it was funnier to me, but I definitely laughed more at this one than the last one. I'd probably say it was funnier.
Yeah, I could see that. Honestly, I think I'm just like, I dislike the story so much because, and no, I don't dislike the story like in the slightest or anything like that. But that huge freaking thing with Twilight at the end there.
She finally let everything off her mind.
A gigantic wall of text, which if I had known that, I would have gotten like a bigger water bottle or more water for that matter. Like, because I only had like half a cup.
I
Or
loved
not a cup, half a bottle.
I loved how 1, hilarious, 2, cathartic, and 3, creative that whole wall of text was. Or couple walls of text.
Oh yeah, it was great. I just hated having to say it.
This one is probably going up there with my favorites now.
Yeah, I can see that. Hey, once we hit like 50 episodes, we should do like a special where we do like top 10 of our favorite fics that we've read.
Yes!
Because I think that would be really fun. You know, so can't wait for the 50th special. What episode are we on? Like 14? I can't remember.
2 weeks of episodes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This one is 15.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Well, I don't think I have anything else to say about this fic.
All right, yeah. Really good. Please go and check it out in the description below. It's a really funny story. Wizzy,
Yes?
have you found a point?
Not in this story.
Ah. Well, that's disappointing. Neither have I. I guess we'll leave you on that horrible note, guys. Adios.
Bye. Do. Sorry, but when I picture credits, I picture the Full House credits.
That makes sense.